So I want you to imagine that you're in the middle of a forest. You don't know how you got there. There's no one around. There aren't any paths for you to follow, and you don't have a compass. And there's this feeling of anxiety that is slowly building up inside of you. And every mile that you walk, that feeling of anxiety grows and grows and grows. And you really can't think of anything else. The anxiety is consuming you because you're really worried about whether or not you're ever going to make it out of this forest. And man, you think, gosh, if I just had a phone, or if I just had a compass, and essentially if you had a map and you knew where you were, you'd be able to make it out. And so one of the struggles in life is really being able to see the paths in between the trees, being able to make out the direction that you need to go. And it's a lot easier to see those paths when you're up in the air looking down with a great bird's eye view. And, you know, when you can see from a bird's eye view where you're at, you know where you're going. You can see one end of the path and you can see the other end of the path. Imagine that this was the path you were following. As you're going around this path, you don't really know when it's going to end. But when you can see everything, you know how far along you are. You know when the journey's going to end. And it just goes to show that, you know, when you can step back 100 feet, you can get a much, much better view. And so I want to take this concept and move it into this well, which is very, very pretty. But I want the bucket to really represent the decisions that you and I make in life. Because I feel as though lately I felt very anxious and very stressed out about the little things. And I feel like I got myself here. Imagine that you're at the bottom of this well. The only thing that you can think about when you're at the bottom of this well is how to get out of the well. But if you're out of the well, you're in a completely different world. You can look around you. You can do whatever you want to do. That bucket is you. You're the bucket. Unfortunately, you don't have a rope in real life. But let's consider that the bucket is there as long as it's well balanced. But if we start adding things to the bucket starts to fall. In my case, I've filled my bucket with spending ahead money that I shouldn't have spent. And now I'm in the situation where I don't have much personal spending money, and I'm spending a lot of time thinking about that. I've also got so many projects that I want to get done that I've almost lost sight of what I'm trying to do because I'm struggling so much trying to decide what to even work on. And as these problems get added together and they really weigh this bucket down, you know, it's hard for me to lift the bucket out of the well, and it's hard for someone else to do that, especially if they don't understand what kind of anxiety I'm dealing with. And so I guess the message that I'm trying to give here is that, you know, if you're finding yourself sitting and just feeling overwhelmed by everything, I think at some point you have to look at that and think, how did I get here? Like, what decisions did I make in the past month that have really negatively affected my state of mind? And, you know, like I said, for me, I spent ahead, and I shouldn't have. Like, I bought some things that I haven't even used yet, you know, with this idea that I'm going to use them. And really, I've just stressed myself out, almost to the point of doing nothing. And I'm just starting to kind of get back rolling into projects again. But it's taken me some time. And when you have, by itself, like one thing that's stressing you out isn't that much, okay? Because you're like, well, I'll go deal with this and we'll be good. But when you have several things that's stressing you out, it's hard to get started and pick one. And you spend more time analyzing everything and thinking and dreading than you do actually progressing. So that's it. That's what I had. just some thoughts. And yeah, see you in the next one.